Hi and welcome to the Beer Temple. Almost had a lost episode here. I got about a third through the episode and realized that I didn't have my mic plugged in, so it would have been a silent episode. And that would have been a shame because I'm pretty excited about this beer I have today. It is from Gueuzerie Tilquin. It is their plum lambic called Quetsche. I have been anticipating this beer for a while. I had a little sip of it a few weeks back when I was out in Maine for the festival there, but I have not really had a chance to really kind of taste it that much and really kind of come to a conclusion of what I feel about it. I do know how I feel about the brewery, and I am very much a fan of Tilquin. If you guys have been watching the show for a while, you remember that when they first came out, this is the newest Gueuzerie in Belgium, and when they first came out, to me, being a sour guy and a beer geek in general, that was really cool to me. So I immediately did an episode on it. It was way back when the show was first getting started, and I think I liked it quite a bit. And the thing about Tilquin is I feel like their blends have been getting better and better and better. Yeah, there aren't a lot of new Gueuzeries that just pop up. I think the last one before Tilquin was Decam. And the reason is it's just not an easy style to make, and it's labor intensive, and it costs a lot because lambics are spontaneously fermented. That being, they don't pitch any yeast. They actually let these beers sit out and are open to the atmosphere, and just the natural yeast floating in the air and the bacteria and stuff are what lands on the unfermented beer called wort and starts naturally, or spontaneously as they call it, fermenting. And that's where you get a lot of these sour and earthy characteristics, because there's a lot of wild yeast and bacteria that output some of those flavors. A gueuze now is a blend of 1, 2, and 3-year-old lambics, and they're aged often, or I think traditionally, in oak barrels, on wood anyway. And it costs a lot of money to start making gueuze, to let a beer age for 3 years. If you say, all right, I'm going to start making gueuze, wait for 3 years and then I'll be able to actually sell something and make money, not the easiest thing to do. So so these guys hit the scene. They don't actually brew, they're just a blender, which is another kind of cool thing that you get with gueuze. This guy doesn't brew any of his beer. He gets the beer, or the wort basically, from other lambic brewers and then does his own blends, which in a way some people think gives him an advantage, if you want to call it an advantage, because he can get a little from this guy, a little of this guy, and kind of blend different house characteristics to come up with his own. I think Tilquin gets his, the guy's last name is Tilquin, gets his lambic from Cantillon, Jardin, maybe Beersel and Lindemans. I think those are maybe the 4. He's worked at Cantillon, he worked at Fonteinen. The guy's like a statistical engineer and a biochemist and all this sorts of crazy stuff. So he has a scientific background, a younger guy, and I think he's really putting out some of the best gueuze blends in the world right now. I think he is right up there or above any of the other people. And I'm really excited about this one. Thank you so much to Jordan for dropping off the sample bottle. People continue to be so incredibly generous here. Guy came in the other day with 2 bottles of Westy 12, not the brick ones either, the straight from the Trappist monastery ones. The AC just kicked off. It is way too hot in Chicago today for me to turn off the AC, so you're just gonna have to deal with the audio consequences of it. But anyway, thank you to Jordan, and let's get going. This is the Quetsche. This is the plum lambic. This is the first time they've ever made this beer. It has just kind of hit the States very recently, and I think they use macerated plum. They don't just add whole plum in there, and it's dark plums. Other than that, I don't really know too much about it. There you go. So I don't know if it's an unblended lambic. I don't necessarily think it is, but then again, let's see. No, there's a little carbonation. A lot of times you'll get a completely still beer when it's just an unblended lambic. Really nice color here, almost looks like a plum flesh. So you know how when you like peel back the skin on a nice like dark plum, the actual flesh is kind of that like murky golden color. That's pretty much exactly what you're getting here. Just a little bit of a head on it. Definitely have that lambic nose to it, and earthiness, a clean fruit as well. Definitely some dusty barnyard going on. And I get a nice kind of like apricot or peach note. You know, I don't know if I would have detected plum. I might have said, yeah, plum, but like a whiter plum, not like that dark tannic plum. Really lovely smell to it. It's a nice integration of the tart and earthy character and the fruit. It's clean, it's not heavily phenolic, it's not like full of pencil eraser or burnt rubber or stuff like that, which I'm fine with. It's the much more like a clean, dusty earthiness. Very low carbonation, which is to style for a lambic. Gueuze tends to be highly carbonated, lambic low carbonation. This is a lambic, not a gueuze. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, 250 grams minimum of plums per liter of lambic. I was just looking to see if it says how old the lambic is. It doesn't. Really nice fruit character to it. The plum is pretty generically fruity. It tastes like a big kind of stone fruit. It could be like a tangerine or a plum or something like that. It's not like with a creek where it's, okay, that's cherry, or even a framboise, you're like, boom, that is raspberry. But it's just got a really lovely fruit nose to it. I'm gonna pour myself just a hint more. I wanna save some for everybody else who comes in here. Give myself a little more. This is a really, really nice beer here. And I like how clean it is too. Little carbonation, not too much. Makes it a little spritzy here. A little bit wine-like. And when you kind of like lick your mouth afterwards, you are getting a lot of that fruit. And you know how like when you eat the skin of a prune, how it has that tartness to it? It's very reminiscent to it. So if you take some of the prune skin and just take that off, or plum skin, and just eat it, that's very much like the fruity character that I'm getting here. Really well-made beer. I'm gonna go 95 with this Quetsche. Really nice. Not the cheapest beer in the world. I think this is gonna run you 16 bucks here. But if you are a fan of lambic, I certainly think it is worth it. This is a one-time deal. I don't expect this to be coming out too often. And yeah, I'd say it's worth it all the way. Thank you one more time to Jordan. This is available in the store today too, which is kind of nice to be able to have a beer that's kind of rare and special that you can actually buy, which is nice. But anyway, thank you guys so much for all the ratings and reviews. I definitely read them all. I very much appreciate it. To everyone, like I said, who stopped and brought by beer and just contacted me. So please reach out. If you want to leave a review on iTunes, I always love that. It's very, very nice. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here so I can help serve this up for everyone else. Until next time, I've got some awesome plum lambic to taste, and hopefully you do too.